warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Okay, today our group will present our lab topic, which is the temperature sensor of LM35 control system. So basically, I will explain about the additional theory. So LM35 is a temperature measuring device that having an analog output voltage that proportional to the temperature. It provides output voltage in centigrade, which is Celsius. It does not require any external calibration security. The sensitivity of LM35 is 10 millivolt per degree Celsius, and as temperature increase, the output voltage also increase. It is a three-terminal sensor used to measure surrounding temperature, range from negative 55 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius. So the LM35 can be operated from a 5-volt supply, and the standby current is less than 60 microampere. LM35 gives temperature output which is more precise than thermistor output. This is the formula that we use for the calculation part.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afam bin Jamil and my message number is BD190024. So this is our coding for our experiment. Okay, so we can see that we set the delay is 1000, which means that the student monitor will show the data in every 1 second, so it's not too fast. So we can monitor it from there, and then the output is the LED, which is green and red. Okay, so this is the results that we got, and then as we can see that from 0 to 20 seconds is the before heating process, and then after that 30 seconds until 50 seconds is the heating process, and that we point the head dryer at the LM35 sensor. So we get this value. After that we remove the hair dryer, and then 60 seconds until 120 seconds is the after heating process. As you can see that the heat go up, increase, and then it decrease to its initial, like the initial ambient temperature reading, as like the first one. Okay. So for the observation is the minimum temperature reading is 29.31 degrees Celsius, and the voltage reading is 0.29 volt for the first 20 seconds before the heat is applied. Furthermore, the maximum temperature is 30.27 degrees Celsius and the voltage is 0.30. We collect the data for the next 20 seconds after the heat is applied to the LM35 sensor. The sensor begins to detect rising temperature caused by the hair dryer after 30 seconds with a temperature reading of 35.64 degrees Celsius and a voltage reading of 0.36 volt. We obtain the peak temperature of the heating process after 20 seconds, which is the temperature reading of 87.89 degrees Celsius and the voltage reading of 0.88 volt. We turn off the hair dryer after 50 seconds and allow the LM35 sensor to cool. After 10 seconds of cooling, the temperature reading is reduced to 82.53 degrees Celsius and the voltage reading is reduced to 0.83 volt. At the 90 seconds, the LM35 sensor begins to cool with a temperature reading of 54.75 degrees Celsius and voltage reading of 0.55 volt. Finally, we can see that the LM35 sensor has nearly reached its initial temperature of 30.76, 54.75 degrees Celsius and voltage reading of 0.5.
Tu botei, boleh naik kan? Tu.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syamil CPM Khalid. My meeting number is CD18026. I will simply explain for the calculation in this project. First of all, we measure the time beginning from 0 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds until 120 seconds. In this project, we need to calculate the temperature, the output voltage, the output of EDC, and the the input of voltage. As example, start from 0 seconds. We measure temperature is 29.79 Celsius. The output voltage will be 297.9 millivolts. The output of ADC is 255, and the output voltage that we got from this calculation is 1.245 voltage. At the end, for timer 120 seconds, we captured the temperature is 30.76 Celsius. The output voltage is 307.6 millivolts. The output of ADC is 263, and last input voltage is 1.284 volts. By these calculations is for theoretical calculation, and we related with the result of the experiment to obtain the value. From this calculation, we can proceed to the part of discussion. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Shami. Now I'm presenting the discussion part, and this is the plot we have gained and obtained when we plot the graph. First one is a graph of serial monitor temperature reading against times, which consists with three processes. Before heating process, this one, and this one is after this one is during the heating process, and this part is after heating process. And for the second one is graph of serial monitor voltage reading against times, which consists with three processes: before, during, and after. Discuss for the first question, discuss the working principle. The following working principle of LM35 is the detection of the ambient temperature is using the temperature sensitive IC part. The second one, an IC circuit converts ambient temperature into electrical voltage with temperature changes proportional to output voltage changes. In the LM35 series, V out is equal to 10 millivoltage per degree Celsius. And for the second question, plot a graph of output voltage V against temperature. This graph is shows the directly proportional output voltage directly proportional to the temperature, and which temperature increase as the temperature increase, output voltage is also increased. For the third question, explain your findings based on the graph obtained. From the graph we have obtained before, we can see that it is clear. The output voltage is directly proportional to temperature, and either before the heating process, during the heating process, or after the heating process, the graph shows that it is increased. And this relation of the graph is linear relation. As the temperature increases, the following output voltage also increase. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Karul Afif bin Johan. My metric number is DD 190007, and proceed to the conclusion. In conclusion, we meet all the study objectives. The first one being to study the relationship between the output voltage and the temperature. As previously discussed, the relationship between the output voltage is directly proportional to the temperature. And then to study the next objective that we achieve is to study the different types of components to their function. As we know, every component has its own distinct function, especially the LM35 temperature sensor, which was definitely the main part of the experiment. So it is very crucial to have the LM35 temperature sensor, and it is main purpose to give the temperature to the Arduino system. And then the last objective that we achieve is to determine the characteristic of the temperature sensor by heating up or cooling down. Next is the recommendation for the study. We recommend to get more data in order to enhance the data and strengthen the recorded data. And then the next recommendation that we would suggest is to conduct it in a closed environment to have the best results. This is to prevent any factor that can affect uh, the temperature sensor. And then the last is we recommend to maintain the hair dryer distance to the LM35 temperature sensor to prevent inaccuracy in data collection. And then it's all. Thank you.